Old political wounds receive a long-awaited soothing balm as a former military president returned to the capital 35 years after stepping aside. Inspector General of Police replies Osun Governor on political violence in that state. Plus, suspended Zamfara legislators have now spent 1 year outside the fence. What is their plea? We have this and more on our lineup. I'm Fisayo Ogunfui. Welcome. Former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, has taken full responsibility with apology for his inability to complete the process of delivering what has been widely adjudged as the most credible election in Nigeria, which took place in 1993. The former military president offered a long-awaited apology in Abuja at the presentation of his memoir and launch of a presidential library. President Bola Tinubu was among special guests at the event.
In Abuja is a rare convergence of top personalities.
Welcome to the President.
Those who matter in Nigeria, including political bigwigs and captains of industry, are here. A force in Nigerian history, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida is the rallying point. 32 years after leaving office, the general, fondly known for his brilliance, is finally telling his own side of national history, perhaps the most anticipated story. In this potential bestseller are accounts of his journey through military career, service to the nation, and detailing cases of coups and counter-coups in the nation's political evolution.
For example, it tells us for the first time who annulled the June 12th election. Of course, I will not disclose that to you. You would have to buy the book.
Resounding in the nation's history is one of his major decisions in office, which apparently delayed transition to democracy after years of military rule. The results of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, popularly described as the most credible, did not see light of the day. And the man at the center of it is yet again taking another bold decision to rewrite history.
As the leader of the military administration, I accept full responsibility for all decisions taken under my watch. And June 12 happened under my watch. Mistakes, oversights, and missteps happened in quick succession. But I say in my book, in all matters we acted in the supreme national interest so that Nigeria could survive. Our nation's march to democracy was interrupted, a fact that I deeply regret, but Nigeria survived and democracy is still alive, a testament to our resilience and commitment to progress.
His apology travels fast, yet one of the affected persons in the struggle is close by. Bearing the historic differences, President Bola Tinubu describes the man of the moment as a courageous man for his major contributions to national growth.
You announce licenses for new generation banks. Nigeria has never been the same since then. Give me your marks, and I say thank you.
To a little bit on security now, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has responded to allegations of killings and an assassination attempt purportedly linked to him by the Osun State Governor. The IGP assured Nigerians that the police have deployed massive personnel to Osun State on high alert to prevent any further breakdown of law and order.
But statements that are clearly contrary to reasoning don't deserve our response. I am too busy for careless talks. I will not respond to such absurdity. You are all aware of the violence that broke out in Osun a few days ago. What we have done in Osun is to respond to the call of the Commissioner of Police in the state for reinforcement. We have reinforced the command, and we have enough men on ground to ensure that there is law and order in that state.
on now to an assembly tussle. 1 year after 8 members of the Zamfara State House of Assembly were suspended in a process they faulted on the floor of the House, the Zamfara State House of Assembly continues to function with about 14 members. Members representing Bakura, Maru North, Bugundu East, Gumi 1, Bukuyum West, Safe West, Marafa North, Kaura Namoda South, and Maradun 1 were suspended. They are Honorable Ibrahim T. Tukur, Nasir Abdullahi, Bashir Sekin Zago, Bashir Gumi, Bashir Abubakar Masama, Amir Keita, Shamsuddin Asam Basko, Jikan Shehu, and Farouk Musa Dusara. Well, joining us is one of them, Honorable Nasiru Abdullahi Maru, representing Maru North constituency, is a first-time member under the platform of the People's Democratic Party. If you can hear me, welcome to Political Update this afternoon. You have not been allowed to enjoy your first experience in the House. 1 year, you are outside the fence still.
Hello, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Thank you for having me. Please, can you take the question again?
I said 1 year now, you are a first-time member, but you have not really been allowed to enjoy your first experience in the State House of Assembly. You have spent the past 1 year outside the fence of the Legislative House.
Yes, of course, it is 1 year. By 26 of this month, we are completing a complete year under suspension without enjoying our legislative duties.
So I understand the number.
We were suspended last year, February 26, 2020.
All right, so I understand the number of members in disagreement with the leadership of the House has now even risen up to 10. Why is this so? And what are the complaints of these two members joining you?
We were 8 in number that were suspended, but in an attempt to intervene for this injustice, minority leader Honorable Nasiru G. Kanshehu joined. It's 10 of us now.
All right, so
and eventually they declared the seat of the minority leader vacant.
So can you tell us what is the genesis of this crisis? 6 of you are PDP, 4 are APC, so it's not the quarrel is not along party lines. What is the genesis of this, and why are you outside the compound?
So honestly, I have been asking myself for a while. I'm elected under the platform of People's Democratic Party to represent my people, good people of Moro North. So on 22nd of February last year, if you could recall, since from December 2023, February, there were massive attacks on these 3 local governments, Safe, Bungudu, and Maru. So our constituents are disturbing us on this issue because they are representative. So we have no option than to meet the Mr. Speaker. We asked the Mr. Speaker, this is what is going on. How can we find solution to this problem? Then we asked him, Mr. Speaker, please find a way of meeting. Tell him this is the situation on ground in the state. We at least find this. An executive session for about 22 members. Only the speaker and the minority leader that were not. I can show you this is the attendance of the sitting, and this is the attendance of the sitting. So we agreed on let's go to the plenary session so that we can voice out the complaints of our masses, which we did. Then they later charged us with, and they forgot that we are covered by the president rules. Now let me be clear. Go to Zamfara State. If you look at the Zamfara State House of Assembly standing rules, under Order 11. Under Order 11, Section 1 of our standing rule, which says whenever a matter of privilege arises, it shall be taken into consideration immediately. And Section 2 of this Order 11 also says any member may rise of any time to speak of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. As a result of this sitting, they went to court and charged us with criminal charges, which is against Section 1 of the Legislative House's powers and privileges. Now let me be clear. If you look at the Legislative House's powers and privileges, Section 1 clearly says a criminal or civil proceeding shall not be instituted against a member of the Legislative House in respect of what spoken or written at the plenary session or at committee proceedings of the legislative houses.
Okay, let's the laws are there, but my question is, 1 year on, the face-off continues. Has there been any opportunity, perhaps, to resolve this issue, on the floor of the House, or is still a matter of, one side completely being stoic and not being unshakable as far as your status and the status of all your other colleagues, now the 10 of you, but at least the initial 8 remains unchanged?
There were different interventions.
And what has been the outcome?
Some statements and stakeholders, that all went in vain. I can tell you of sittings. The last one we had on June 2024, the governor sent his clause early to have an out-of-court settlement, so which we agreed, but up to this moment, nothing has been done.
But if you are also using the law as backing, one would have expected that perhaps maybe...
We were called at the government house by some people who are called cabals. So they said, you went to court challenging your suspension. We say yes, and that's legitimate for us. They say, you better go and resolve that case, otherwise I will take you to the end of your tenure under suspension. Say, and what surprised us, that man is not of Zamfara State. The governor, he's from Adamawa State. And now we have seen it, yes, they mean it, because by 26th of this February, we have completed a year under suspension.
All right. Have you also perhaps, explored also following, legal processes to regain, your positions on the floor of the House?
Yes, we went to the court immediately. Suspension. So which they call for out-of-court settlement. Ask us to withdraw all our, so that we have any. They later on continue with their own case against us.
Some would have said, some would say perhaps
I can tell you, we went to court
been a little bit naive in this process.
By March. But even we even went to around or somewhere around to see the case in the court.
Oh, all right. We will continue to watch this space and see how things develop in your state. We will just say, on political update, perhaps explore every avenue, and we'll see how that, since you have been legitimately elected by your people to represent your state, as well as your other colleagues, 7 members now with 2 more even joining that, means that there can be 2/3 in that legislative house for key decisions, perhaps the main things to be done as well. We will still invite you perhaps and your colleagues and see how this process can come to a good and amicable conclusion for you and your colleagues as well. But it looks to me as if there's more to this than just flouting rules on the floor of the legislative house there. All right, many thanks. Many thanks to Honorable Nasiru Abdullahi Maru, representing Maru North constituency of Zamfara State. Let's move on to the Southeast now. Anambra Coalition for Progressive Change has picked nomination and expression of interest form for Professor Obiora Okonkwo ahead of APC primary and November governorship election 2025.
Thank you. So on behalf of the coalition, we are presenting the form, and we know that by the grace of God, you are going to get the party ticket and you are going to be the next governor of Anambra. Coalition, progress. Coalition, progress. Progress, coalition.
When you look at all the areas he has covered in life, you know that this is a man that is looking for nothing. That is the kind of person we want. And that is why we decided to go and ask him to come out. That this is the right time that you have to come and rescue our state.
I am calling on all those who are not happy with what is going on in Anambra State to emulate this gesture. For those who have not joined this coalition, please, this is a wake-up call. In all my interviews, I had mentioned that this should be a journey of coalition. With the ticket in our hands, we will give a landslide victory to APC.
Constituted a ad hoc committee to probe alleged terrorism financing of Boko Haram activities by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. The House, while adopting a motion of urgent national importance, also called for the investigation of activities of non-governmental organizations in Nigeria to ascertain their real identities and sources of funding.
The dust is yet to settle over recent statements by U.S. Congressman Scott Perry, alleging that the United States Agency for International Development has been involved in the sponsorship of Boko Haram and other terrorist activities. Just like their counterparts in the Senate, lawmakers here are calling for a probe to ascertain the veracity of the allegations.
When a congressman in America speaks, you have to hold it as something that has some sort of weight.
Since 2009, why is it protracted? There must be some involvement of serious financing. Because we know these people, they are ragtag. Where are they getting this money? Where are they getting these weapons?
Each time you will see at least 2 to 3 private jets parked there, owned by NGOs. Most of the offices in Maiduguri are owned by NGOs. And Yobe, what are they doing there? National Security Advisor, the Director General of the State Security Service, DSS, the Director of National Intelligence Agency, NIA, the Director of Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, to appear before the committee over allegations of funding to terrorist group by United States Agency for International Development, USAID.
U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria Richard Mills Jr. says the U.S. government stands with Nigeria in its quest to completely eliminate remnants of insurgents terrorizing parts of the country. He said this immediately after a closed-door session with members of the Nigerian Governors Forum in the course of the week.
It was the first physical meeting of the Nigerian Governors Forum in the year 2025, and the need to interact with the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria on burning issues of international concern dominated discussions during a closed-door session at the NGF Secretariat, and it is time to brief the media on the outcome of the deliberations that lasted several hours, and Nigeria-U.S. relationship and the earlier allegations against U.S. intervention body, United States Agency for International Development, USAID, on Boko Haram sponsorship was brought to the front burner.
Or have policies and procedures in place to ensure that USAID funding, any of our assistance funding, whether it comes from USAID, the Department of Defense, the State Department, is not diverted to a terrorist group like Boko Haram. There is absolutely no evidence that I have seen that has occurred. And certainly if we ever had evidence presented to us that a program funding was being diverted to Boko Haram, we would immediately investigate, along with our Nigerian partners.
U.S. government pledged to assist Nigeria in improving economy, health, education, social well-being, as well as fighting corruption to a standstill.
The new administration has put in a 90-day pause on our assistance. No assistance has been cut yet. No decisions have been made about the future of our assistance. In fact, Secretary Rubio has said, this is not about ending foreign assistance to our partners and friends like Nigeria. It's about how to make the assistance more effective and how to make sure that it aligns with U.S. government policies and interests.
The Nigerian Governors Forum, however, did not speak to journalists after the meeting, but there are strong indications that the outcome of the deliberations will be made known during the Council of State meeting scheduled for Thursday this week at the State House.